Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Creatives of Windsor Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Sheardown, and today I'm sitting down with local Amherstburg Town Councillor, Linden Crain. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Anthony. Appreciate it.
So, when were you elected as Town Councillor?
2022 in October.
Okay, so it's been just over 2 years?
Yes.
How did you, get into all that?
Well, I was working at the mayor's office at the city of Windsor for
Okay.
a few years during university, and I was involved with University of Windsor Senate. I was the board chair of UWSA, which is like a student union at the university. So I really tried to get involved in high school, university, and then I decided, hey, let's look at municipal politics and getting involved in my hometown. And decided in 2022 in June, was first one out of the gate to mention I was running for office in Amherstburg and started door knocking right away. October came around and then the election was there.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So it was right when you finished, because you would have been, 22?
22, yeah.
So right when you finished your bachelor degree, you started doing it?
Yes, yeah, I jumped right into it. So I was in my MBA program in the back half of the election. So from September to October, I actually started my MBA program and wasn't really sure if I wanted to pursue the MBA. But I didn't know what to do after university besides run for council and get a full-time job in some area of business. So I left the MBA program after I got elected.
Oh, wow.
My parents thought I was crazy for dropping out of the MBA program. And then I started in the mortgage business.
Oh, nice. So how does being a town, how many councillors are there in Amherstburg actually?
So we have 5. So there's 5 councillors, there's a deputy mayor and a mayor. So there's 7 members of council.
Okay. And what are your duties? What do you guys do?
Good question. Everything that has to do with the town's finances we look at. So we just went through a regular budget cycle where we approve all of the capital and operating projects in the town. So that's the big item. That budget sets out all the projects we're going to get done in the following year. So right now we just approved our 2025 budget and all of the exciting projects, all of investments in roads and sewer infrastructure, water treatment plant. So we've passed that budget, and now it's regular meetings. So bi-weekly we meet, and then we have committee meetings. And aside from the regular meetings where we're approving certain items, certain projects in the town, we meet with residents, we attend events, try to be ambassadors of the town.
Nice. Yeah. So you just kind of show your face places and meet people.
Yeah, hear their concerns. You do your best to resolve as many issues as you can. I learned very early on that there's a lot out of our control. And if somebody comes up to me and says, I'd like a new street light here, or I'd like you to help me plant a tree in front of my house, it's not as easy as me phoning up the town and saying, hey, install a tree light, or a light or a tree.
Yeah.
It has to go through council. Council would have to ultimately approve it, right? So it's the entire body of council that makes the decisions, not just one elected official.
Yep.
So when a resident voices their concerns to me, I take it in, but I also bring it to the council table and say, hey guys, is this something that we can get behind and support and make happen? We call a vote, and depending on where the vote goes, that project will be approved or not approved. So
when do you guys vote on things? When you meet bi-weekly? Is that when you vote on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start our meetings at usually 4:00. Sometimes they'll go as late as 10.
Oh, wow.
So we have what's called a statutory public meeting, dealing with any type of planning items, so development in the town. And then we have an in-camera meeting, which deals with personnel matters that the public, that can't be shared with the public. And then we have a regular meeting. In the regular meeting, we approve minutes from previous meetings. There's so many different things that take place during that regular meeting.
Yeah.
And that's open to the public. The public can come out, they can delegate, share their concerns with us.
Who mediates these meetings?
So the mayor.
Okay.
The mayor's the head of council. He runs the meetings. We have our clerk, our deputy clerk, our CAO, treasurer, and then the members of council that are there as well.
Oh, that's cool. So you guys vote on and discuss anything from boring stuff like new streets all the way to fun stuff like your lights at the park. Is that you guys doing as well?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? There's the sexy projects you can talk about, and that's what people see, right? if we were not to invest in parks and recreation during 1 year, let's say, we didn't take on any new playground projects or waterfront revitalization projects, or we didn't build a pump track or a dog park, people don't see the other projects that are being approved, right?
Yeah.
They don't see, unless they're driving by and they're inconvenienced by it, the road work taking place or sidewalks being fixed, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have that balance. You can't just focus on the operating costs and replacement costs. You also have to have those new exciting projects that people like to see. If their taxes are increasing or staying the same, they still want to see that investment in the community. They want to see that progress is happening. There's something for their kids to go and enjoy and hang out at the park, or they want amenities, right? So there's a balance between providing a service and also providing amenities for the community to enjoy.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. You mentioned the pump track. So I ride mountain bikes. I'm a big supporter in like the Libro trails and James and everything he's been doing. I had him on the podcast. To give more voice to that community, because I love riding myself and everything. And I wrote to the town for the like phase 2.
Yes.
I sent like a letter in too.
I remember that.
Yeah, James just asked me to send in a letter for the pump track. I saw you shared the pump track the other day, didn't you? So is that something that like you guys are all going to discuss at one of these meetings? And
we did. What day is it? Today's Thursday, Wednesday? Thursday. So we discussed it on Tuesday.
Okay.
So $500,000 was brought forward to council in the 2025 capital budget, and what was ultimately approved was $250,000. And then that's conditional upon the town being able to find somebody else to partner and bring in the other $250,000.
Okay.
So we're focused on doing a community partnership, right? With the town and some private business or donor that wants to help cover the other costs, right? We have Walker Aggregates, the quarry that's nearby. There's a number of big players in Amherstburg that may be interested in partnering up with the town.
Yep.
That way, it's not the entire $500,000 coming from taxpayers. There's that balance of public-private partnership.
And are you guys gonna outsource the build of it, like to the same company probably that did the Windsor one, or?
I up to staff. That's and you bring up a great point. Is council is a very, very high level decision making body. The coming down to which company ends up building it, it does come to council for final approval.
Yeah.
But staff vet a list of people, and they decide, okay, this is who council should approve, and then we decide whether or not to approve them. But I would imagine someone very similar to Windsor, the experts, right? You don't want the track to start crumbling on you.
Did you guys like have did they submit like a plan of what they want it to look like, or
not yet?
Okay.
No, right now the budget dollars were allocated towards it, and they were approved on Tuesday.
Cool.
Depending on if somebody else comes to the table and brings that other $250,000 or more, if they want to, then staff will go out. They'll issue a tender. They'll find somebody that would create a design cost, and then that'll come back for final approval. So I would imagine I don't see it being built until 2026, to be honest, right?
For sure.
Because the town has to now try to find another $250,000.
Yeah, no, that's really cool though. Because Walker Aggregates, is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they put some money into phase 2 of the Libro Trails, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and they donated a bunch of the rocks and stuff, and yeah, super cool.
Hopefully they want to get involved on the pump track. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. Have you rode there? Do you ride at all?
So I would ride. The bikes that I have at home are like cruisers. I know the chain's just going to fall off.
Yeah.
But I totally would be down for that. I told James I have to get out there with them. I just haven't, had the time to do that yet. But
yeah, he did a great job. Like phase 1 was a blast, but phase 2 is even better. It's been super fun.
He's a workhorse that it's crazy how much time him and his team put into that. And now they're working on phase 3, which is coming to council on December 16th.
Oh, really?
So we'll be looking at approving phase 3. So I mean,
is there more room?
Yeah, there is. Behind it would be the south side of the Libro Center. There's actually another area they could build on. So
cool.
He's not done yet.
Yeah. No, because phase 2 is huge compared to phase 1.
Yes.
And it's super cool out there.
And you know what the best part is that from like a resident standpoint is James and his team raised the funds for it. They put in the labor and they made it happen. And it really didn't cost the town anything to have a state-of-the-art trail amenity built in the town for $0. I mean,
Yeah.
where's another project that we could compare to, right? The town had to invest in and pay for a skate park, right? Or other amenities.
Yeah.
And we got basically a free trail.
Yeah.
So without him and his team, that wouldn't have happened, and the town wouldn't have had the money or the resources to make it happen.
Yeah, him and everybody there, like Websy, they've done great stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love the town. It's cool that you guys have been, it's been a few summers now, right? You guys have been closing the street every weekend and stuff. That stuff's really cool too. Is that something that you guys would vote on as well? Like when
Yes.
Cool.
We actually, it could be a touchy topic for some residents, but
Yeah.
open air, we decided to keep the plan of open air, the timeline, until the end of this term of council. Because often open air was coming back to council and being debated every single year. There's areas where some folks might have been trying to reduce open air, making it shorter, scaling it back, perhaps cutting it entirely. But council decided to make it permanent until the end of this term. So hopefully it's not debated again.
When is, because I assume, so like every year you guys are talking about it, people want this and that, so that you guys were just like, it's going to be open, we're going to just, that's cool.
Yeah, that way the community knows, and business owners in the downtown, they're not worried whether or not the event's going to continue. And then staff, they also have the ability now to continue to enhance the event and not worry whether or not council is going to cut it the next year.
Yeah.
So it's just building it up, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess whether you are for it or against it, I'm sure it's still nice to know that it is, so then you can prepare either way.
Yeah, exactly. And there are people against it, and I hear their concerns entirely. It's a debated topic in Amherstburg, especially if if there are people that are listening to this that are from the town.
Yeah.
It is a debated topic, but I do not see a feasible way to make open air. I guess to make open air, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here.
That's okay.
But making open air available and popular to the entire business group downtown, like it's not going to please everybody is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to be something that everybody's going to like.
And that's why we vote for things.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be people that are upset, right?
Yeah.
So
no, it was cool. Like, I think I checked it out. I went out and we rode the Libro trails one night in the summer, and then we went down there after and like hung out and stuff. And yeah, it was really cool. It was great. I really like Amherstburg. It seems more, because it's a little bit smaller, it seems just a little more like organized. Yeah. Whereas like Windsor is bigger, and then there's stuff going on in this part of the city and that part of the city, and sometimes you miss things. But Amherstburg, you don't really miss anything because it's all kind of in one spot.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like a neighborhood almost, like in Windsor, like this area of, it's like its own BIA, but it's the whole town kind of thing.
That's a great way to look at it. Yes.
So you said the end of the term. How long are the terms? Like, how does
4
that
years.
work? 4 years. Okay, yeah, that makes
so
sense.
2022 to 2026.
Okay.
So that's when the next election would be.
So you got to start campaigning in like a year, just over a year, right?
So we would start campaigning in June of 2026.
Okay. So a year and a half from now.
Is when, I believe in June is when you can file your nomination papers and officially be a candidate.
Okay. How many, what'd you say, there was 5 of you?
5 that got elected.
Yep.
I ran against 16.
See, okay, that was my next question.
Yeah.
16. Were you the youngest?
This is the youngest, yes.
Are you the youngest to ever be voted in?
In Amherstburg?
Yeah.
Maybe in Windsor, Essex. I haven't fact-checked that at all. Yeah. It was cool. I was at a conference in Toronto or Ottawa. I can't remember where it was. But I met somebody that was elected at 18. And actually, former Minister Steve Clark in the province, he was elected mayor in, I believe, Brockville at 18 years old.
Wow.
And he beat out an incumbent mayor that was rerunning.
Wow.
So it's been done. Yeah.
I assume you have to be 18?
Yes, have to be 18. And I believe you have to own property or be a resident of the town to actually run.
Oh, okay. I believe that to even run for prime minister, I think you only have to be 18 in Canada. Is that correct? Do you know?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
The age of being able to vote, right? So
in the U.S. though, I'm pretty sure you have to be like pretty old to be president though. Like not that old, but I think you have to be like 35 or something.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not too sure.
Which I remember seeing this years ago. I could be totally wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Canada was like, if you can vote, you can run. And then in the U.S., for president anyway, you had to be at least 35 or something.
And now
like
the
that.
average seems to be like 70.
Yeah. You got to be 3 times that.
Yeah.
I saw this funny statistic. So I was born in 95. So when I was born, I'm pretty sure Clinton was president. So that was almost 30 years ago. He's younger than Biden and Trump, who just ran now.
Yeah.
Which I thought was absolutely hilarious because it's been 30 years since he was president. And then these guys are older than him and then they're currently running. So funny. Well, I guess that's a good part to go for this question. Have you always been in, so your degree's in business from the university, not political science?
I minored in political science.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you always been interested in politics? Like when did you get?
I think I always have been. Going back to high school, like being in a smaller election in high school, running for council president was fun, right? So I enjoyed campaigning and I enjoyed helping people and being a voice for others. So I think it would start back in high school, and then working for the mayor in Windsor. I was right into it, right into the thick of it. So that even propelled my idea forward more. So
what did you do for Mayor Dalekins, obviously?
Yeah. Communication. So a lot of like newsletter, news release writing, helping out with press conferences, social media, and anything really that I could help with. I was so young and just wanting to try anything, absorb anything, and help where I can. So yeah.
So you're pretty well versed in that area of politics. Do you follow, or are you interested in like like politics, like federal and provincial things, like the parties and all that stuff?
Not right now.
No.
To be honest, it seems extremely toxic.
Yeah.
Like municipal politics, you can have the biggest impact on people's lives, I think. It directly impacts them. On a provincial or federal level, the issues are so high level that the average resident may or may not be impacted by it. And I don't know if I would enjoy, at this period of my life, at some cases, being on a party as a member of parliament or a member of provincial parliament and always following the party's views.
Yeah.
Right? If like I wouldn't want to be just the voice of the party. I wanted to be the voice of Linden and provide my own opinions without being worried that I'm going to be kicked out of the party and have to run as an independent. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing is I feel like you in some cases can lose your voice.
For sure. I feel like we're in the position you're at, like every issue that comes in, you can have your view on it, whether that maybe swings a little right or left. And I guess like everything can change. But yeah, like if you're a member of whatever party, like all your views have to swing towards that way, right? That must be nice that you don't have to go into it like that.
Yeah, I would consider like my views as an independent. It's we vote as a collective, but I can walk into the meeting and know I don't have to watch how I vote on a certain topic, right?
Yeah.
And I think in this role you have to be non-partisan. You have to be able to work with any party, liberals, conservative. Really, for how I look at it is from a municipal level. Those that are in power as an MPP or an MP, our municipality has to have a really good relationship with that person who's in charge of our riding on a provincial or federal level to ensure we're not left behind. From grant funding from the province or the feds, we need to make sure that Amherstburg, being one of 444 municipalities in Ontario, that we stand out.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to build relationships and be on a first name basis with ministers or our MPP, right? So
who is the current MPP?
So in Essex, which Amherstburg is a part of the riding of Essex,
That's okay.
Sorry,
it's okay.
is Anthony Liardi, and then our member of parliament is Chris Lewis.
Okay, what party do they represent?
So Anthony Liardi is a progressive conservative, so the Ontario PCs.
Yeah.
And then Chris Lewis is Conservative Party of Canada.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah.
I think my area is Lisa Gretzky.
Yes.
Over here.
Yep.
Who I did her headshots here where we're standing.
Oh. She signed the wall.
You know what's funny is in my job, and my views always are just like, I just want to hear the issue, kind of like, I guess, almost what you said. Just, I definitely don't like have a party picked. And in my career, like as a photographer, I've worked like personally with everybody. Like I've done work with like Ford, where we spoke to each other. Is that you? It's okay.
There we go.
You good?
I thought it was on silent.
It's okay. Yeah, I've done work with Ford, like where we were on first name basis. I've done work with Trudeau, where we spoke to each other. I work with like obviously Lisa all the time. That's all three parties. All three of them were super nice to me.
Yeah.
I like as a person to person basis, I like them all. It's kind of interesting how, like you said, like, yeah, they do have to be in like almost this toxic environment.
It is. It keeps getting worse. Like,
yeah.
People are, I get asked often, like, are residents reaching out directly to me often? And they're really not. There's been this switch from voicing your concerns over email or picking up the phone and calling. I may get 20 phone calls from residents all year. The rest is some are emails complaining about something, or it's comments on social media. So
people like to comment.
They like to comment. They like the satisfaction of knowing somebody's going to like their comment, right? And that's really it. People have converted to comments, and it can be ruthless in those comments.
Yeah,
it gets quite toxic. But like you said, like Trudeau, Lisa Gretzky, the people that you've worked with, at the end of the day, they're just people. They're, whether or not you agree with their opinions or their decisions that they're making.
Yeah,
they're trying to help people.
Yeah,
right. They're some may be in it for the wrong reasons. I can see that, but they ran for office. They got elected. They need to be respected.
Yeah.
There's been death threats for Trudeau, and you see it online. Like, for me, whether or not I agree with what you're saying, you don't need it to take it to that level, right?
Yeah.
It's just like he's got a family at home. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I always find like that. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I always find like the hate overpowers. Like the people that have a problem with whatever politician, it always overpowers. Like I'm like. Because I've met them all on a personal level. I like them all. I don't comment on their stuff or say anything. But like the people who have a problem comment on everything.
Yes.
So that's always like, that's always what you see. So you think that everybody hates this person. Everybody hates that person. But like they got elected.
Yeah.
It's a free country. Everybody voted. So they're actually not as hated as you think they are. I think so anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they're in a role, and whether or not you agree with that they're doing a good job is up to you, but let's keep it professional. And you know what? It's the negativity steers people away. And in some cases, you wonder why those that are extremely qualified for the job, successful entrepreneurs, people that would be excellent as a politician, they never run. Why would they want to run?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and face that criticism in the public.
Yeah.
At some points it can be a thankless job, and a job that steers people away. They're like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Like I've thought about that too. Like I'm a photographer. Like I don't do anything negative. Like all my feedback on social media is always positive. Like all the comments are positive and lovely. Like, and same with this podcast. Like it's not a controversial podcast. Like it's just.
Hopefully I'm not making it controversial.
No, you're not. It's always just very lighthearted and fun. And like all the comments and everything is always just like positive. And I always find like if I would be interested in running for politics one day or something, like that's almost like, especially the way things are now, like you said, that's almost like bad for my business. Like now people aren't going to like me. Like right now, like I said, like I work for all three of those politics. That's all three parties. and I'm friends with everybody. If you were to run, then you're not anymore. And like you said, like, why would you want to do that when you have a business and like other things you're doing?
That's something that I've faced, to be honest. Having my own mortgage business is, you face that. People won't want to deal with you on the mortgage side because the way you voted on council. And whether people believe it or not, my idea to be a mortgage agent happened specifically so I could be a better counselor and be available more as a counselor. I left the MBA program, started as a counselor, and was like, what do I do? Like, council pay it's not enough to live off of.
Okay.
I think we make $24,000 a year.
Okay.
As a counselor. So it's not enough to get a mortgage. You can't do anything with it, really.
Yeah.
And after taxes, it's much less. So I was like, I want something that I can create my own schedule. I can work around council meetings and meeting with residents. And I wasn't in a 9-to-5 job where I'd have to take time off all the time. Like, just this week, we were in meetings from 4 to 10, and then Tuesday from 9 to about 5 all day. If I was working a salary job, that's time I have to take off. I have to take off work, right? So, mortgages, I create my own schedule. It's all commission. So, as much effort I want to put in, as much as what I get out of it. So,
do you work for a brokerage? Like,
yes.
How does that work?
Yeah. So I work for Dominion Lending Centers.
Yep.
It's like one of the largest brokerages in Canada. So
yeah, it's a big one. I just did a Christmas party for some people from there. That's great. How long have you been doing the mortgage stuff for?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So I got elected in 2022 in October.
Yep.
And then I believe I started January of 2023. So almost 2 years.
Okay. When we got our mortgage, we just used our bank. Mm-hmm. So when you go to a broker, like you guys just kind of look around, do all the legwork, and find like the best rate for people.
Yeah, you find the best rate. A lot of advice, right? Every client's situation is different, and we're trying to structure the file the best way we can.
Yep.
Best part about us is if your deal doesn't fit with a bank, we can switch it over to a different one, right? They all have different policies, so we have so many more options. The rates are better, yes, but you can get deals approved at certain lenders that you couldn't at your regular bank, right? So
yeah, and like so many banks have different rules, like WFCU, for example, like they allow you to put down on your year date up to 20% of what your original mortgage was for. And RBC only allows you to do 10.
Yes.
Like if you're trying to pay off your mortgage early or do something, like that's a big difference.
Yeah, there's so many niche product policies that every lender has that if client's looking for this and their bank doesn't have it, we might have an option, right? So
ours are with a different bank ours is with a bank, but not the one we bank with.
Yeah, right. Same here. Same with me.
Same with you. Yeah. We just like their rules, I guess, better. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. So I guess my broker would just be the guy at the bank then.
Yeah. Just more options, right? Bank has one rate, one product. We have 38 different lenders, 500 products, right? So private lending, B lending if your credit's poor.
Yeah, it's really annoying to, like, I can't shop a rate without having to give them every piece of paper from the time I was born every time.
Yeah,
Whereas, like, you, I guess, like, like if I had a broker, like, you have everything, and then you can just look for...
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it only hits your credit once, right? So.
Oh, true, because you guys have to run the thing.
Yeah, we pull credit, and then we can start looking, right?
Does that actually lower people's credit, or is that, like...
It does, about 7 points.
Okay.
But you get it back in 30 to 90 days.
Okay.
And with mortgages, you can pull credit about 6 times within 45 days, and it only impacts your score once.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the Equifax or TransUnion, they know that, okay, he's looking for mortgages. He's not trying to take 10 credit cards out.
Yeah, I know, that makes sense. Yeah, I always forget to look at that stuff.
Yeah.
So are you from Amherstburg?
I am. You know what? My parents are divorced, so my mom actually lived in Windsor for some time, so I would be here on the weekends. And then my dad lived in Amherstburg, went to school in Amherstburg. So I've lived in Windsor in a few different places. So I very familiar with Windsor, very familiar with Amherstburg.
Where did you go to high school?
Amherst.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I went to Holy Names.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I kind of always like from this area, I guess. So you went to the new one?
Nope. I went to Amherst. I was the second last class.
Is it not called that? What's it called now?
North Star now.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So Amherst. Okay, so it did change name and they moved it and everything.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What is the building? What are you guys doing with that?
So Valente Development bought it.
Oh, okay.
And they're looking at putting residential condominiums in there.
Cool.
And I believe they're looking at maybe a shopping area at the bottom, a gym. The town perhaps could be involved in some way. So I think it'll be an exciting project. It's in the heart of the town.
Yeah.
And it depending on how it looks and what ends up happening, it could completely change that area.
Yeah. Is it how big is the school? Is it 2 stories? 2 floors?
It's 2 stories, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
No, that's sweet. So when did the new one open? When did that one close?
The new one, look, it's a good question because I was the one that helped organize, along with a few other people, the 100-year anniversary of Amherst before it closed. I think that was in 2021.
What year did you finish there? 18?
18.
Yeah.
It might have been 2021. I think it closed.
Okay.
2022. Yeah.
So So you weren't the last. You weren't the last year.
No. Close to it.
Close to it.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So it was there for 100 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. 100 or 101. Yeah.
That's crazy. Holy Names has because Holy Names used to be called Centennial, and I think in like '89 it switched to Holy Names.
Okay.
But if you go in the front door, it still says Centennial on the tile on the floor. They still haven't changed it. It's
we had Amherst was cool. There's a lot of history, a lot of people that walk through the doors. I think there's many people that are in Windsor that I know that have gone on to do great things that came from Amherst, and the building's great. It had a shooting range in the basement at one point.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I heard Forrester had that too.
Okay. There was I think it was like a firearms class or something in high school way before my time. So
yeah, my grandfather, he's like the first year of the baby boomers, so like 46, and he said that he shot guns at school in the 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore.
Would have been if he was born in 46, so he was in high school, in like whatever, in like 60, 59, probably maybe, whatever, 59, 60. Yeah, so isn't that nuts? Yeah, shooting guns at school.
Yeah.
Weird. Our school didn't even have a pool. Did you guys have a pool out there? No. Yeah.
Some say it was on the roof on the 3rd floor.
Everybody always said that at ours.
Never found it.
I think Massey actually had a pool, which is I guess like our like competitor school. What's the Catholic school out there? Like, would you go to Villy?
I would have went to either Villy or General Amherst. Yeah.
Yeah.
My partner went to Villy and I went to Amherst. So
nice.
Yeah.
And you're engaged?
Not engaged. No. We've been together 7 years now.
Cool.
Went to prom together and maybe an engagement in the future. But
nice. Yeah. No, sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it online.
No.
So you guys high school sweethearts?
Yeah.
Same with my wife and I.
Oh, awesome. That's cool.
Went to. Are you guys the same age?
She's a year older.
She's a year older.
Yes.
Did you guys go to both proms or just one prom?
No, she just went to mine.
She went to yours?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm 2 years older, so we went to mine, and then I had to go to hers, like 2 years after, which kind of sucked.
You're like, yeah.
I felt like a little old there. But
old guy, yeah.
I have a late birthday though, so at her, I was 19, so, but yeah. We went to both of ours, and so pretty much like the same as you then, because you said you're 24.
24.
Yeah, so I'm 5 years older than you. So yeah, no, that makes sense. 7 years. Yeah, we're at 12. It's cool.
Yeah, I got to get up to your number.
Yeah.
Only at 7, right? So.
You'll be there soon. Because everybody because when you start dating so young, you seem to have been together for a long, like when we got married, we were at 10 years. And sometimes I tell people, they're like, what took you so long? And I was like, well, I was 16 when we started dating. So, and,
I think I was 16 or 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't see that very often where people stick together. Like at that age, like most people aren't mature enough to hold on to something for that long. Right. So it's very, very rare. Yeah.
It's funny because, you did that and like you started your career really young, and then I'm the same way, and I started my career very young too.
Physically, still have your hair, so this is good news. It's I'll be good then.
You got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's funny. So then, yeah, you went to University of Windsor.
Yep.
And you just did like the 4 years straight through.
I did 4 years, studied business, and loved it. A lot of great things happen in university outside of the classroom, so I wanted to take advantage as much as I could. So I joined a few boards in town, the Chamber, the Amherstburg Community Foundation, and really tried to get involved. And
Nice.
Rest is history.
Did you say you have to have your position as town councillor, you have to own property or be a resident in Amherstburg?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. You don't have to own property, because I didn't when I was running. I didn't own property. I was living with my parents.
Yeah.
Right. So and then we started renting, and then we bought a house and all that stuff. Right. So even though people don't think I pay taxes still, but anyways,
People actually think you wouldn't pay taxes?
yeah, they I get some comments on social media that, like, are you even old enough to vote, or like whatever. But you have to be a resident. I don't believe you have to own property.
No, that makes sense. For sure.
Just have to be a resident of that community. Like, if I don't believe I would be able to run in Windsor.
Yeah.
Right. So unless I decided to change my address. Right.
What are you going to run again? Like, what are your future plans?
I'm not sure. I'm having fun with my business right now, and it's going well, and I'm focused on that in council, and we'll see where I'm at in 2 years. Right. So I got elected at 22. I'll be 26 if I run again. So it depends, right? Like, where I'm at in life. Who knows what could happen in 2 years.
Yeah.
But I love what I'm doing, and I would definitely consider running again for sure.
Do you, you seem like, I'm kind of like this too. Do you like to do just like new stuff all the time? Kind of switching up life
I like
a bit?
to try new things. Yeah. Yes, I do. I don't see myself being a counselor for 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't, but do I see myself running again? Perhaps, right? I don't know where I'll be at in life at that point, to be honest.
No, that's good. Keep your options open. I think that's what's nice about, like you said, like being self-employed allows you to keep your options open a bit, and you can take on different things. Like, I started teaching at the college last year.
Oh, good for you.
Thanks. And that's easy to do when you work for yourself. It's like, it's just like another job, really. It's like, yeah, these 4 hours a week, I do this now, it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah. My dad teaches there actually too. He's in sports management.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I teach in the journalism program.
Okay.
And the media convergence program. So both of those are downtown.
Oh, awesome.
So your dad's at the main campus?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it. It's super fun. Students are awesome. Yeah, it's a good community. It's such a great school. I love I went there. I love being a part of it still now, not as an alumni anymore, but like as a, I don't know, part-time staff member, I guess.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, we just had, I'm not teaching this semester, but I am teaching in the winter semester, so I start in a few weeks, like almost 3 weeks, which is crazy. But like, our program had like its big Christmas party, so I went and stopped by for that, and it's nice to like kind of just be in like a community for a bit, because I'm alone so much of the day.
Yeah, that's work. I can't work from home, to be honest. I've tried. We have a young puppy, and I just get distracted.
Yeah.
So, I like seeing people sometimes.
Where's your office at? You guys have an office? Like,
we have 3. So there's one in Harrow, Amherstburg, and then in Windsor, right across from Tepperman's.
Oh,
so, yeah, on the corner of Dougal and Olette.
And you can go work in whatever one you want?
Yeah, wherever. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I tend to go in the Windsor office. Just that's where all the other agents are. We can hang out and work on deals together, and our broker's there too. So.
Oh, so you don't go to do you go to Amherstburg one sometimes? Like,
I do. It depends if I have meetings there. A lot
sense.
of the business I do is Windsor based, Leamington. So you kind of head there, right? So
yeah. What's the process like for becoming a mortgage agent?
Yeah. Broker? So for me, it took about 2 weeks to write the course. Some people can take a couple months. It depends how quick you want to go through the modules and book your exam.
Yeah.
And then it's as easy as that. You write a course, you become a mortgage agent level 1. So at that point, you can only lend out like A-rated products, like a bank.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get your private license, so you become a mortgage agent level 2, you have to wait a year or 2 years. I think they just upped it to 2 years now, but for me, I had to wait a year, apply for my private license, and now I can do private loans.
Okay. So where do private loans come from? How does that work?
So you can get private loans from a MIC, or a mortgage investment company.
Okay.
So it's a pool of investors, and then the company would lend that money out to individual people.
At higher rates.
At much higher rates.
Much higher rates.
Like 10 to 15%, sometimes 7.99. They're usually interest only, so you're not beating down your principal at all.
Oh.
And then you have your John Smith private lender that wants to lend out money. Maybe he's got $100,000 at home and he wants to.
You're allowed to do that?
Yep.
Really? And what are those rates like? The same?
Same. They're usually higher than a mortgage investment company because it's just one person. So you can see 15% plus a 4% fee, so you're almost at 20.
Interesting.
Right? So as a lender, if you're lending out your own money, you can make a lot of money, right? You can make 15 to 20% on your money in 1 year.
No shit.
Which you're not unless you're day trading, you're not seeing that from like a mutual fund.
No.
So,
and unless you're really, really good, you know,
you got to have a great investment advisor. So
yeah, like GIC rates were high, and they were at like 5.6% or something. So 15%.
Yeah.
And how guaranteed? Like, who? So they stop paying. What does it just go to collections, and then you sell it to collections? Or?
So the private lender can issue a power of sale and give them a timeline. Hey, you have to pay out this mortgage, or we're gonna sell your property, take ownership, sell it. You get the whatever funds you invested into it back, and then the lender gets paid out and they walk away. But that's like a last resort, right? If somebody stops making their payments, or if the private lender doesn't want to renew them, they have to look at what is the exit strategy.
Wow.
So a lot of private lenders are looking for deals where there's equity in the house, so that there's some private lenders that are betting on you defaulting. They want to see you default. That way they can now secure an asset that has equity in it, right? So, but it's expensive, but it's for people that maybe self-employed. They're not showing as much income on paper, and they need a short-term loan. Maybe they want to pay down debt, and it's like a step before they have to sell their house and get rid of everything. They need that private loan to consolidate. Yeah. So it's all situation dependent, right?
So you're saying, sometimes it'll be like the person has had this house for a while, they haven't really paid any of it down. Mm-hmm. Maybe they paid $200,000 for it, and it's now worth like $5.5. So that's where now there's the equity in it. Mm-hmm. So if they default, then they have a $600,000 house, and then
they know they're going to get paid out, right?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
They won't go up to 80% of the value of the property. Any lender on a refinance or a private loan, they won't go above 80.
Yeah.
Because if the property were to depreciate, their money's tied up. Mm-hmm. So, it can be very lucrative for the investor.
Yeah, like we were looking at some like investment properties, my wife and I, and our bank is like, 80. We'll give you 80.
Yep.
But at a normal rate, that's crazy. 15% on a mortgage is that's a lot, especially with these mortgages. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's crazy. That's very interesting. I don't know. I'm interested in stuff like that. That's why I kind of went a little deeper into that one.
That's okay.
So you said you guys meet every Tuesday. You said, or every other Tuesday? Sorry.
Every other Monday.
Every other Monday.
Sometimes it's Tuesday, but usually Mondays.
And so you said sometimes it can go from like 4 to 10. Mm-hmm. What's like the average time? Like when do you guys usually finish those at? I'd
say 8 or 9.
8, okay.
On average.
Okay.
City of Windsor has their meetings during the day. Ours is in the.
How do people go if it's during the day? Because people can go, right?
Yeah.
To certain.
Yeah, they'd have to take time off work, or they tune in virtually.
So for yours, you said, like that 5-hour meeting, if it's 5 hours, for example, there's like a couple hours of that where the public can go, and then there's a couple hours where they can't.
If we have anything in camera where it's personnel matters or it's disposition of property, anything that presents some type of legal risk, if it was out in the public, we would discuss in camera.
Gotcha.
Like some people in the community might think we're meeting in camera to hide bad news from the residents, and we could be in camera for very, very simple things that just legally we're not allowed to share publicly. Like if you're talking about personnel matters, like employees, and there's an employee issue, you can't be sharing that in a public setting, talking about, John Doe out in public about what he did at work. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
It's for a reason, right? It's not to do shady things behind the doors.
Is that just like the 7 of you are in there only for that?
Yeah, 7. It depends. Like we might have our CAO in there, our treasurer, our clerk. Our clerk is definitely in there, right? So and they're all recorded, right? So every meeting we have is recorded.
Even those parts that are private, just in case you gotta.
Yeah, in case you need to access that information for whatever reason, right? So
So besides all this work and all this work you do in these different avenues, what do you guys like to do for fun?
I like to travel. I want to travel more.
Nice.
And go for walks with our dog, explore Windsor, Essex. Nothing crazy. Go out for drinks with friends. Go out to a restaurant.
Yeah. Do you guys travel now? Like, have you been traveling a bit?
A little bit. Like, we went to Arizona earlier this year.
Nice.
Try to do 1 or 2 big trips a year.
Yeah,
I think just to explore. You never know, right? So,
what does your girlfriend do? Does she work for herself too, or does she?
Yeah, she's a teacher. Yeah, went to teachers college and is doing that. And got a nice little puppy at home. Nice. Having fun. We're very, very laid back. I think after work, you just want to hang out and sit on the couch.
Yeah,
to be honest,
sure.
Like kick your feet up, right?
Yeah, usually my wife's like when she's done at like 6, she's like that, and me, I usually go hard until like 8:30.
Me too.
Yeah, and then
I can't sit still.
Then I'm on the couch.
Yeah, that's funny. I work late hours, and I feel like I'm working all the time, but I love what I do, so it's not a bother to me. But the second we turn on a movie, we're sitting on the couch, like I'm out in 30 minutes.
Are you? Yeah,
oh,
same.
Yeah.
I try to, I said this on the last podcast too, like at the 8:30 mark or whatever, even after like 5 or 6, but especially like inside, like I try to put my phone in like another room.
Yeah.
Like it's over there. I'm just going to zone out for till I fall asleep. And then like kind of cart your way off to bed when you're half asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I also enjoy working out.
Yeah.
I enjoy that and going in like the steam room or the sauna. Just it's so relaxing. So I would totally go to like a spa, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to in the summers just too busy, there's too much going on, but in the winters I like to hit like a sauna steam room at the gym once a week.
Yeah.
Cause like usually you're just like I go to the gym almost every day, but it's just like in and out. And on like Fridays I try to
always feel like you're on time crunch.
I know. I'm just like, oh man. On Fridays I try to like use the pool.
Yeah. Stay there for 2 hours.
Yeah. Just like
chill out, man.
Sitting in the steam room after a long week and just like, it's the best.
It is.
Do you, what gym do you go to? Do you go to one in Amherstburg?
I switch between, so I'm at Movati. I'm usually Movati in Amherstburg or Windsor.
You can go to both?
Yep.
Nice. My wife goes there too.
It's it's beautiful building.
My sister-in-law is actually a personal trainer there too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Elisa.
Okay.
Parisi. She does like the competitions and stuff too.
Wow, good for her.
I've actually never been in there though.
It's cool.
I've been at Good Life for so long. I don't pay anything. So like, cause like my wife's been at Movati. Well, Movati's not even that old, but like we pay more than double for hers than for mine. So I'm not even. And honestly, like Good Life to Movati isn't that far away. But when it comes to the gym, like as close to the house as possible.
Especially in the winter.
Yeah. It does. Sometimes like Good Life is literally like 4 minutes from here. And sometimes I like don't even have time to go there. And I'll do like a calisthenics workout, like YouTube video in here.
Yeah.
Just to like bang it out super fast, you know?
That's what I'm supersetting. And like today, I think my workout was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
the reason this is at 3 is because I typically try to schedule my gym session for the last hour of the workday. So 4 to 5, I try to hit the gym.
Yeah.
I started implementing that. This will be my 3rd year doing it. It's worked out great.
Really? Okay. I'm a morning person, so usually 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 I work out. Yeah.
I used to do that, and then I stop, and then days on like you're too tired or whatever, you don't like. If I have a late evening, I I can always go at 4. I don't know. But again, sometimes like work does get in the way and I can't go at 4. So
yeah,
you got to bang something out earlier. I hate going later. I don't like going after dinner. I don't know why.
No, me either.
It's too,
yeah. Like you're actually awake after you work out and it's like you're working out like 9 to 10 and then you get home and I don't know, I feel like you're more energetic after. So just messes with your head a little bit.
That's why I do like sometimes doing it in the morning. You know what I like about the 4 o'clock is the most tired you are is at like 3:30 or 4. Yep. So instead of taking a nap, hit the gym.
Yeah.
You definitely feel better after that than taking a nap. So that's kind of why I started doing it then. It worked out well.
Yeah, that's why I don't nap. You feel like, I don't know, you don't feel good after.
I haven't taken a nap in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe like a random like lazy Sunday or something. I'll take one, but no, it makes you feel worse after. Like
it does. You're all groggy and yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather like just run around the block or something, but that's pretty much all the questions I had. Are you good?
Yeah, this was great. Really appreciate your time and learning more about you. It sounds like we're might be twins or something. I don't know.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.